A couple years down the road, you you wake up, kind of grab at your lower back, just in a lot. You just you haven't slept comfortably in a while. You're kind of wake up and your back is stiff and something's always stiff and you got like a pain in your neck, right?
Yeah.
Just haven't been sleeping well. And I mean, to be fair, it's like it's not easy sleeping on a school bus.
What?
Yeah, you are traveling the country in a school bus.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Why?
Um, it's just kind of where your life is at right now,
Oh man.
you're not really like working anywhere, you're not really like living anywhere other than out of this bus, you're doing stuff to make ends meet. Sometimes you tell jokes, sometimes you do a day's manual labor, sometimes you flash your cock out at a gas station to a man willing to pay you 25 bucks to see it.
Oh wow.
His name is Scott Dorfman, and he has been following you for a few states now. So, but
Wait,
without the generosity of Scott Dorfman, who knows where you'd be?
I'm not above it. That's fine.
No, you're not above pulling that wiener out, shaking it around so that
But
Scott can just sit there and look at it in silence.
that's fine. But you said that he's followed me. What do you mean?
You've been traveling for a little while, and he's just kind of like followed where you're going, going the same route.
Is he
He'll
on this?
stop at the gas stations as you, every time you guys stop, he basically offers you 25 bucks to pull that fucking dick out, wave it around.
Jeez. Okay. Um,
You've made
okay.
$100 so far doing it.
I mean, that's easy money.
Yeah.
I mean, this
That's what you
is
say.
not ideal, I guess, but
No.
why is this happening? Like,
You just like I said, you're not working, you're not living in the same place anymore. You've left Austin, you know.
also, if I can just for 2 seconds, I can't tell if this is a good thing or a bad thing yet.
I don't know. That's
Like, how's my
I don't
emotional? Because this could go either way. I could be in the mind state that this is like a horrible thing, a horrible set of circumstances, or I could be like, this rules this is what I've always wanted. Like, how do I feel
certainly
about,
does not rule.
oof,
It certainly does not rule.
oh no.
No, it's not. This isn't you like finding a moment of freedom and, loosening the shackle of
Uh,
society's expectations.
yeah.
That's not what this is. Man, my life has to change now, and I don't have a lot of options.
Oh man, what
You,
happened?
you,
God damn it.
you burned down your apartment building.
Ooh,
You, had gotten this like hookup thing for your bathtub. It's like a jacuzzi hookup, right? And it like heats the water, and it's just kind of there's like it's like a jet that you plug in to like a wall outlet. It's just a thing you like strap onto the side of your bathtub to make it feel like a give you a little
okay.
bubble, a little jacuzzi, right? And
Relaxing.
yeah, exactly. It's called the uh just a Zuzi. And it's like an infomercial thing, and they're like, you can get it just us, you know. Like, you don't need to make a special trip to get spa treatment right at home because you've got the Just Cause Uzi. And it's the whole thing. It comes in like there's like seven different colors you can choose from.
Which one do I
Um,
get?
so you get you order the sandstone one, but
Oh, wow.
they send you a green one. But you don't even care. You're like, who
That's
fucking
yeah,
cares?
that's fine.
Whatever. So you like plug this thing in, right? You plug this thing in, and it's like keeping the water hot, right? You feel that jet. You like move it. You move your body around the position of the jet. You have it hit your lower back. You have it hit, your calves. You have it hit your fucking butthole. And
All of it.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Pat. You love it. And in a moment of writhing, steaming,
What?
flick with your sweat,
Oh
passion.
no.
You've got
Ew.
your butthole pressed up against the jet, and a
Oh,
little bit of water like splashes out and it hits the outlet and short circuits. And then like your whole fucking apartment building goes up.
yeah,
And the
man.
flames jump from building to building. The entire complex is ashes within hours.
Ah, man. Do they know it was me?
Oh yeah. I mean that's
How do they know?
they have like fire detectives. Like that's their fucking job is to trace back the path of this fire.
All right. I guess
And
I
they
come.
pretty easily see that it originated. I mean, once other like units started burning, people got very concerned and the police and like fire department were ultimately called.
Yeah,
And they show up and it's very obvious where this originated from.
sure. So I guess yeah, I'd come clean pretty quickly, I think. It's
You
so
were already
obvious.
clean from being inside that fucking bathtub,
Sure. Yeah.
standing outside wearing like a short terry cloth robe, recanting the what happened to the fireman. You don't tell them
Yeah.
about blasting your asshole with a jet.
No,
You just
yeah,
said that,
no.
you just got this thing and, it shorted out and caught the outlet on fire and that quickly spread.
I have renter's insurance.
Yeah, but they're like, we don't cover
What?
we don't cover sexual, it's they consider it like a uh an act of passion. They
I
don't
know,
it's
but
like acts of passion are not we don't if there's an act of passion that causes something to happen, like we're not gonna cover it. You
but
gotta like stop.
I'm not gonna tell them what actually happened. I'm just gonna tell them what I told the cops
But
or
they
the
but they
firemen.
know,
How?
you know. I don't know. When they first present it to you, they're like, we understand that this is our hypothesis. And they tell you and they fucking nail it. They get it spot on. I mean, they're a multi-trillion-dollar industry. They're not fucking around.
Right. Whatever.
So point being you get kicked out, right?
Damn. Yeah. Fuck.
All the money you have to your name, you buy this school bus and you're like, I'm getting the fuck out of Austin. You start driving.
Ah, man.
You're
Yeah.
driving all over the country, trying to find the next place that calls to you. You're on the road for months. Sometimes you stay in some places a little bit longer than others. Sometimes you make friends. Sometimes you fall in love. Sometimes you eat great food. Sometimes you eat what you find on the side of the road.
Hmm.
But you're driving this fucking school bus all over the country. You finally stop in a little place in the middle of America, a village, maybe 3,000 people or so. Nothing real notable about it other than the train tracks that run through it.
What do you mean?
You pull that school bus into Dupo, Illinois,
Holy shit.
and you set up shop for a little while.
What do you mean?
I mean, you park in the public park, right? You're using the public bathroom. You're out of there at night, working on public streets. You're
Doing doing what?
just trying to like you just want to stay in one place. You just want to like exist somewhere where you can not have to, where you can just live and get your head on straight and figure out what your next move is.
Wow.
So you
Okay.
park that fucking bus in Dupo, Illinois. And it's a little tense right now in
Why?
Dupo
Why?
because the bus drivers union has gone on strike, right? They're asking for more wages, all the stuff that, people bargain for, more wages, more time off, better health
Okay.
insurance.
Sure.
And the school has like agreed to all of that, but there is a certain number of people inside the bus drivers union that says they want to arm themselves with a firearm. And the school district was like, look, we can't do that. That's like, we just cannot allow that, you know? We can't attempt
Okay.
it. Like legally, like we've had our lawyers look at this and it can't be attempted. It's just not, you're not going to be allowed to have a gun on on a moving school bus full of children. Like that's just not going to happen.
Yeah. Okay.
So they are at a standstill.
It's that important.
It's that important, right? And not to everybody, but just to like a vocal minority, you know?
Okay.
And so you got your fucking bus parked at the city park there in Dupo. It's a little late in the year, but kids are using the splash pad. Probably the last, one of the last days it'll be turned on before it gets too cold.
Yeah.
As you feel the fall is going to be coming, quicker than you realize, and it's all, it's the beginning of the school year. It's still summer. It's hot outside. But you know that it's a time for transition and a time for change. You're
Yeah.
sitting there at the
It's a
park.
weird time of the year. I feel different about it from year to year these
It is a
days.
weird time of the year. It's a time that is everything is sort of in flux. It's a period of transition. You've got your fucking school bus parked out there. You're working on drawing something, just a big old fucking dick and balls. Just you got a lot of them. And you hear a knock at your window. And you look over, and on the other side of the window is a bespectacled, tall, slender man wearing a white shirt with a gray jacket and a maroon tie.
Hmm.
He kind of looks at you, you look at him, you roll your window down, you go, or like you open, it's like the side, it's like one of the crank ones that you open on the school bus. You go, yes, sir. And he goes, hi there. I'm superintendent of Dupo Unit 196. My name is Talbot Gunn with two N's.
Whoa.
He goes, and because I noticed you've been in this beauty, you had this baby doll that you're riding in has been in our fair street for a few days.
Yes, sir.
He said, well, I know you're not from here, but I don't know if you've acclimated yourself yet. But there's a big crisis in our school right now where there's a school bus strike, and that means we can't get our kids to schools.
Okay.
We're asking all the community for help. And he goes, I saw your vehicle here, and I thought, man, what better way that somebody help? They go, would you help us? Can we give you a route of students to pick up in the morning and take home?
No. No, I'm sorry.
He goes, man, we could really honestly use the help. Like,
I understand. It sounds like a really hard thing to be in the middle of. Um, but first of all, that's what it's like crossing the picket line, right? Can't do that. So
he goes, I understand.
there's that, and then the other thing is that I'm just not equipped to do that right now. I've never been a real bus driver. Uh, my life
He
is
says,
kind of falling apart, to be honest with you.
he says we can get an exemption made right now. He goes, I've seen you wheel this beauty up and down our streets. He goes, I know you can drive this bus. He goes, in fact, we've already got an exemption made. And he like
What?
puts a slip of paper like on your dash. It's like something from the state authorizing you to be a school bus driver.
Uh,
He goes,
you
he
already
says,
made it.
yeah. He says, I'm a union man through and through, and
You
nothing breaks my heart more than to come to you and ask you this. He says, but we've done everything we can do. He goes, we can't arm these people. He goes, I won't stand for it. He goes, that's the only stumbling block. He goes, and these children are being left out in the cold because of it. They go, look, we think this thing could be over any day now, but we're on the brink of losing state funding by not having it on school days in the year, and that would cripple this small community. They go,
I
Pat,
I
if there's
would
anything,
I
he said,
think
all of this hinges on a vocal minority who believe that they should be able to carry guns around these children.
okay. I
He's
think
like, I can't do that, Pat. He says, will you help us?
no.
Please.
No. Absolutely not. This
He
is
says,
so frustrating.
the town of Dupo is nothing without its school. It's the only thing we have. That and Dairyland.
I don't even really live here. I'm just
And
passing through.
his
This
lip
really
quivers and he says, Dairyland can't get us through this, Pat.
what?
He goes, as delicious as Dairyland is, Dairyland's not going to pull Dupo out of this pickle. He goes, we got to get these kids back in school.
Okay.
He says, you're not alone. I've gotten a group of people who have, other buses, large church vans. Like we're getting the kids who need the help the most. And we're asking other kids to get rides into school to, walk in if you can. Like the community is coming together, but there are some students we just can't reach. And they said, with your help, we'll be able to get all of our kids back in school. They said, we can't do it without your help.
Man, this has nothing to do with me. I
He
look,
says,
man,
I
I
know. And he says, we'll pay you for your time.
I
We'll
don't
pay you for
care.
your gas. We'll pay you for wear and tear.
I don't care. I
He
live
pulls out a
in
wad. It's $5,000.
I'm not taking it. I cannot do this. This is so much responsibility. I've never done this before. I'm crossing picket lines, which I don't even think I'd ever have to even think about. I mean, that's such a strange thing to even have to consider doing, you know? I mean, I've never been in a union, I guess. This is so
So
confusing.
you
And
think
I'm
about
just
it,
gonna leave. I'm gonna leave this town.
so you go to leave, right?
Yes.
You're
Ah,
like, I don't want to do this. I can't do this anymore. You pull out of the public park. You look both ways, you hang a left, and bang, you land right in a pothole. And you hear something break. You get out, you look underneath the bus, there's like a fucking the axle's all fucked up.
oh no.
You
Come
call a tow
on.
truck. You call a tow truck to the just like the nearest like mechanic.
Yeah, sure.
He gets
Oh
it up on the
man.
lift. This axle's fucked. He has you come out and look up under there. He goes, he goes, well, I could I we're gonna have to change that axle out. He goes, it's gonna be a pretty big job.
Okay.
He goes, he goes, I think I got a guy at a pickup part who has a similar bus. So I think I can get an axle for pretty cheap. He goes, if not, we'll have to order it, and that's a totally different story. He goes, realistically, you're looking probably about a week. That's your home, right? That's where you live. You live inside this bus. So you're trying to like think about like what are you gonna do for that time? You know? And then he kind of like he's got a toothpick in his mouth. He goes, or he goes, I could have this puppy up and running here within the next 8 hours.
Oh.
He goes, all you gotta do is just help out the Dupo, man. If I get this thing up and running, will you pledge to drive a bus? He goes, we're just asking for like 2 weeks till we can get this labor dispute settled. We think we're being really reasonable. We've met all of their other demands, increase their pay, increase their sick time, lower the costs on their insurance. We've done everything we can, but we refuse to put guns on the school buses. They will give me 2 weeks. That's all I'm asking. He says, we'll pay you fair and you'll help the community. And if in 2 weeks this isn't done, you can leave, no harm, no foul. You don't owe me a dime. He says, I got 2 kids that go to school here, and they're driving my fucking wife insane. And if we don't get them out of the house, she may murder one of them.
Dude. Oh man.
He was like, Pat, I can have you on the road tomorrow. Just give me 2 weeks. I'll cover the cost of all of it. He goes, otherwise, it's going to take a little bit.
What's this person? Who is this person?
He's the guy who runs the auto body shop,
What's his
the
name?
mechanic. His name is Terrence Goforth, and he runs T's
Yeah.
Mechanic Shop on historic Main Street in Dupo, Illinois. He's got your bus up on a lift right now. He's wiping his hands off on an oily rag. He goes, 2 weeks, man.
Let me ask you this. I- Am I in a particular hurry?
No, you're going wherever the wind takes you.
Then I go, okay, 2 weeks.
He wipes his hand off, extends a hand. Do you shake his hand?
I do. And I say, I'm sorry, man. This just seems like a local, I don't understand the culture. I don't get it, man.
He goes, all I'm telling you, man, is you're helping out. This is going to get kids to school. This is going to keep the school funded through the state. This is going to keep this town alive.
Keep the town alive? How?
He
What does
goes,
that
well,
mean?
without the school, like tax base is going to dwindle. Who's going to move here if there's no school to educate their children? Then it's like a poor community. They can't afford to like pitch in to keep it open. They just have to have their kids there so that the state will continue to fund the school. So you agree. You take his hand. He goes, I'll call you as soon as I got it done. You you turn to start walking down Main Street in Dupo.
Ugh.
You look up like an Airbnb on your phone. There's one for $6 a night. And it says it's in a shed. And then you open it up and it just shows like a shed. And there's a bed inside. It says a bed in a shed. That's it. And then it says there's like three more lines and it says also a hole to shit in. So you
Why
book it for a
even
few nights.
why even write that?
Well, might be a deal breaker for somebody.
It sounds like
You
a deal breaker.
you you're looking to stay there as cheaply as possible.
Yeah,
So
all right.
you book this room for a few nights, right? You you're up early the next morning.
Yeah, I don't think I get much sleep. I think
You
I
don't.
just sit in bed all night long and just think about what my life has become. This
So,
is truly awful.
the next day you wake up, you walk to Dairyland, you get the three small cheeseburgers, get a side of fries. You eat in the dining room. You have your headphones in. They get interrupted by the clack of the 50-cent pool table kids are playing on. You ran this morning, you picked kids up. Everybody cheered when you got to school, made you feel good.
It's
The
cool.
nice lady at Dairyland comps your meal. She goes, "Thank you so much for keeping this town going."
Oh, thank you.
She's like, "Anytime you need anything, you come in here and you see me. Anytime."
Thank you.
She says, "Of course." So you do this for like a week, right? And tension kind of like keeps ratcheting up in town, where there's like a thing on like the local cable access channel where they do a debate between like this guy who's like, no, I want to arm myself. He was a bus driver. His name was um Philip Hammerton. And he's like, these kids are fucking assholes. He goes, and I don't know when one of them's gonna, you know, pull a knife on me or a gun on me. He goes, this is for my protection. And the superintendent, like that's like a whole thing, right? So it turns out they need you for like a field trip that they're running. They're taking the
Okay.
drama club kids to a creativity um council right? So it's basically like they take these drama club kids from all over the state and they all descend on like Springfield and they have this hotel where they talk about like there's like a lighting seminar and there's like a makeup seminar and there's like blocking and there's like talks from all these people who do like high school drama club productions and every kid is encouraged to come in character, right? So they're like your favorite character, right? So there's like you see a kid who's dressed up like um Happy Gilmore, right? He's got a makeshift hockey stick in his hand. He's wearing a Bruins jersey.
Okay.
There is a girl who's dressed up as Kit from A League of Their Own. She's got on the Peaches uniform. She's got a dusty old mitt in her hand. She spits into the dirt as she walks up into the bus,
Cool.
right? There's kids dressed like Marlon Brando. There's a girl dressed like Avatar. There's a kid who's dressed like Dennis Hopper. There's just like all these like
Wow, that's a wide
weirdo.
range.
It's just like a weird. There's a kid who's dressed like some sort of anime dog, right? I don't know what it is, but he swears there's like 800 episodes of it over in Japan, and he's probably right.
I believe him. Yeah.
So you get all these nerds on the bus, right? You're um you're driving to Springfield, Illinois, to this like convention center, right? Kids are going around the bus like doing lines from their movies, right? The whole thing, the teacher who's like the chaperone is like very encouraging. She's really like supportive. She says that they're one of these like there are no bad ideas kind of people. And these kids are genuinely having like a good time, you know.
Okay.
You're about an hour outside of Dupo and you hear just like a maniacal laugh.
What?
You look up in your like giant rear view bus mirror, and that kid who just dressed up as Dennis Hopper stands up out of his seat and he opens his jacket to reveal a bomb strapped to his chest. And he says, Mr. Dean, if this bus drops below 50 miles an hour, I'm blowing it up.
What? Why? Come on.
And then he like lifts, he goes like the seat and he like lifts up like the cushion and there's like a live bomb on there. And he's like, dude, this kid is a very method actor. Okay. And his favorite movie character is the bad guy from Speed, Dennis Hopper. Right. So he goes
This
full method. He constructs a dirty bomb and he hides it on the school bus before the morning. Right.
kid,
The kid does.
the
And
child.
he gets right in your face and he goes, I mean it, Dean. He says, keep this thing above 50 or we're all gonna blow.
Oh man.
You
Yeah.
you're kind of like, what the fuck,
Yeah.
You you kind of look over at the lady who's like the chaperone. Her
Mhm.
name is Fallon Falcon. And she was like, okay, very funny, Danny. She's like, let somebody else have a turn. And he looks at her and he just laughs. He goes, I'm not fucking around here. Right? He's very Dennis Hoppery. He's like very on edge. He goes, I'm gonna blow up this fucking bus.
Oh man.
Right. One of the other kids is Jeff Goldblum from Jurassic Park. And he like looks over the bomb. He takes his sunglasses off and he says, as a scientist, this is a real bomb. And Fallon is like, Zachary, you're not a real scientist. And he like puts his glasses back on, sits down.
These kids are deeply in character.
Oh yeah, I mean this Dennis Hopper kid is absolutely like Stanislavski himself. He's method. He's way in there.
Is he good?
He's fucking great, man. He's so good,
Oh man.
right? He's so good. He's got
Okay.
everybody convinced that he's gonna blow up this bus. So you kind of like laugh about it. He you kind of look at him and you let your foot off the gas and you see it breaks 50. And as soon as it breaks 50, you hear a beep, beep, beep. The Jeff Goldblum kid looks over, takes his glasses off, and he goes, Miss Falcon, there's a countdown. He goes, as a scientist, it looks like we have less than 15 minutes left to go. And he puts his glasses back on. And she's like, you're not a scientist because you can read a clock.
Yeah,
It's very
that
tense between the two of them. She doesn't like it.
well, I can see why. That kid sucks
And she
so bad.
goes, she goes, why did that clock start? And he kind of laugh again. He just like laughs, this maniac's laugh, right in her fucking face. And he goes, "There's a bomb on the plane. There's a bomb on the bus. You dummy." And she's like, "Don't call me a dummy." He says, he goes, "I'm sorry, Miss Falcon." He goes, "How am I best supposed to get into my character if I can't call you a dummy? How am I supposed to get into my character if I didn't, stalk the internet for weeks learning how to build a bomb with homemade items? How am I not going to get into character if I don't plant that bomb on a bus filled with all of my friends?"
This kid's strange.
She's like, "You're telling me that's a real bomb?" He goes, "Oh yeah, it's gonna blow up." So you have 15 minutes, right?
I guess I hit the gas then.
You hit the fucking gas. As soon as you get back over 50, it stops. You spend the next like hour and a half driving around like the highway structure of central Illinois.
What does he want?
Just like, right? He wants to blow up the bus. That's his character. He wants to blow up the bus,
Oh, so
you know?
that's so,
Yeah.
so he's just playing a sick game.
I mean, yeah, I guess you could call it that. He's getting very into character, right? He pulls a black wig from his backpack and puts it on top of your bald head.
Oh yeah.
He goes, for the character, right?
How do I look?
You look fucking great. Fallon assumes the role of Sandra Bullock and she takes over, right? You
Yeah.
start to like wrestle this kid on the bus, but again, he's like a high school kid that's like closer to his athletic prime than you are yours. You got this wig, it's like in your face, it's out of your face, like it's uncomfortable. He's
Yeah.
got a fake bomb strapped to his chest. He's able to keep you at a distance. And you guys like wrestle all over this bus while Miss Falcon keeps it above 50.
Does anyone call the
You
cops?
I don't know. I mean, I think everybody thinks it's just like an act.
I would absolutely call the cops. You got to take stuff like this. The threat
You
alone
know,
is worthy
but
of
you're
it.
not. You're wrestling in the aisle with this high schooler, right? You guys are wrestling and you like land on top of the bomb, right?
Okay.
You land on top of it, like the panel that he used to cut out on the floor to sneak it in without anybody noticing falls through. The speeding concrete of the freeway is exposed beneath you.
Oh
You knock this
shit.
bomb into the highway. You let off the gas, or rather, Miss Falcon lets off the gas. You pull over, right? The cops show up, and sure enough, in less than 13 minutes, that bomb explodes. So you saved like all of these kids, right? You drive the
Yeah.
school bus back to town. You are met with like media everywhere. There's TV vans, right? The
Huh?
the parking lot is packed. There are a bunch of weeping parents who just want to grab their kids and hug them and hold them and make sure that they're okay. Your kids leave the bus first. Miss Falcon walks off, and you leave to just like being blinded with brilliant flashbulbs of people there to take a picture of the hero of the day. You kind of like put your hand up to your face. What would you say?
I'll probably just be like, oh, what? I'd be very surprised, I think. Probably. I mean, I don't know.
You say, "Oh,
I would
what you?"
freak. Well, yeah, I'd freak out a little bit. I mean, it's a lot.
So you kind of like step off again. You're like, you're like holding your hand up, like, "Hey,
Yeah.
thank you," and through the flash bulbs steps one of the bus drivers that's on strike. He's the guy who's advocating for the gun, and he goes, "Fuck you." He goes, "We've never received an ovation like this." And he yanks you out of the bus and he punches you right there in the oval around the
Oh,
school, right there in the circle, right?
yeah.
There's a hole in the front of Dupo. There's a circle, right? Outside the front, there's a small grassy cutout in the middle. And that's where people stand and you guys just like fight right there. And he
Oh
throws
no.
you all around that grassy circle, right? He beats you to death on the sign. He just like picks you up by your ankles and hurls you against the sign that says like "Welcome to Dupo High," and you just kind of lay there in the parking lot. And he goes, "I've been a bus driver for 34 years." He goes, "Nobody's ever thanked me for what I've done." And he goes, "I've given." I've given my life to this town. And then you hear a bang. And you look up, and one of the students that was in costume
Yeah.
pulls he like pulls like a holds like a smoking 9mm in his
Oh,
hand, and
man.
he's dressed as Danny Glover.
I just wanted to leave. That's all I wanted to do.
He's dressed as Danny Glover, right,
Yeah.
from Lethal Weapon, and
Great. Cool.
he says I'm getting too old for this shit. And you're like laying there face down, like the last breaths of your life, and then that guy falls like face to face. He kind of like rolls down the little bit of the hill that was
Yeah.
made up of that little circle, this grassy area. He like rolls into you, and you guys your lips touch, and then he die. He rolls right into your sort of like welcome embrace. His lips line up perfectly with yours, and then they touch, and you die right there on the
Oh,
circle, Dupo high.